Defense Updates has reached more than 150,000 subscribers. We're genuinely thankful to our viewers. You keep us going. We don't dilute your video watching experience in this channel with sponsored products. If you like what we're doing, kindly support us on Patreon. www.patreon.com/defenseupdates. The official story was clear. Saudi forces shot down a ballistic missile fired by Yemen's Houthi rebel group last month at Saudi Arabia's capital, Riyadh. It was a victory for the Saudis and for the United States, which supplied the Patriot missile defense system. Our system knocked the missile out of the air, President Trump said the next day from Air Force One, en route to Japan, one of the 14 countries that use the system. That's how good we are. Nobody makes what we make, and now we're selling it all over the world. But an analysis of photos and videos of the strike posted to social media suggests that story may be wrong. Instead, evidence examined by a research team of missile experts appears to show the missile's warhead flew unimpeded over Saudi defenses and nearly hit its target, Riyadh's airport. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes: did the US-made Patriot missile defense system fail against the BURQAN-2 missile in Saudi Arabia? Let's get started.
Number 5.
Mr. Jeffrey Lewis and other analysts based mostly at the Middleburg Institute of International Studies in Monterey, California, were skeptical when they heard Saudi Arabia's claim to have shot it down. Governments have overstated the effectiveness of missile defenses in the past, including against Scuds. During the first Gulf War, the United States claimed a near-perfect record in shooting down Iraqi variants of the Scud. Subsequent analysts found that nearly all of the interceptions had failed. Had it failed in Riyadh as well? The researchers scraped social media for anything posted in that area and time frame, looking for clues. Governments lie about the effectiveness of these systems, or they're misinformed, said Lewis, an analyst who led the research team which shared its findings with the New York Times. And that should worry the hell out of us.
Number 4.
The missile is the BURQAN-2, a variant of the Scud missile used throughout the Middle East. It traveled about 600 miles. Saudi and American officials have accused Iran of supplying the Houthis with the missile, a charge that Tehran denies. A recent United Nations report found evidence that the missile had been designed and manufactured by Iran. Saudis had purchased the Patriot missile defense system to intercept these kind of attacks.
Number 3.
Missile defense is one of the most technologically challenging quests. It's like hitting a bullet with another bullet. The pattern of missile debris littering Riyadh suggests missile defenses either hit the harmless rear section of the missile or missed it entirely. Just as the Saudis fired off missile defenses, debris began to fall in downtown Riyadh. Video posted on social media captured one particularly large section which landed in a parking lot next to the Ibn Khaldun school. Other videos show scraps that fell at a handful of other locations clustered in a roughly 500-yard area along a highway. Saudi officials said the debris, which appears to belong to the downed BURQAN-2, showed a successful shootdown. But an analysis of the debris shows that the warhead components, the part of the missile that carries the explosives, were missing. The missing warhead signaled something important to the analysts, that the missile may have evaded Saudi defenses. The missile, in order to survive the stresses of a roughly 600-mile flight, was almost certainly designed to separate into two pieces once near its target. The tube, which propels the missile for most of its trajectory, falls away. The warhead, smaller and harder to hit, continues toward the target. This would explain why the debris in Riyadh only appears to consist of the rear tube, and it suggests that the Saudis may have missed the missile, or only hit the tube after it had separated as intended and begun to fall uselessly towards Earth. A blast 12 miles away at Riyadh's airport suggests the warhead continued unimpeded towards its target. At around 9 p.m., about the same time debris crashed in Riyadh, a loud bang shook the domestic terminal at Riyadh's King Khalid International Airport. There was an explosion at the airport, a man said in a video taken moments after the bang. He and others rushed to the windows as emergency vehicles streamed onto the runway. Another video, taken from the tarmac, shows the emergency vehicles at the end of the runway. Just beyond them is a plume of smoke, confirming the blast and indicating a likely point of impact. A Houthi spokesman said the missile had targeted the airport. There's another reason the analysts think the warhead flew past the missile defenses. They located the Patriot batteries that fired on the missile and found that the warhead traveled well over the top of them. Saudi officials have said that some debris from the intercepted missile landed at the airport, but it's difficult to imagine how one errant piece could fly 12 miles beyond the rest of the debris, or why it would detonate on impact. A photo of the plume taken from a different location on the tarmac appears consistent with plumes produced by similar missiles, suggesting the explosion was not an errant piece of debris or an unrelated incident.
Number 2.
By identifying buildings in the photo and video, Mr. Lewis's team were able to locate the spots from which the images were taken, revealing the precise location of the plume a few hundred yards off runway 33R and about a kilometer from the crowded domestic terminal. The blast was small, and satellite imagery of the airport taken immediately before and after the blast is not detailed enough to capture the crater from the impact, the analyst said. But it does show ground damage from the emergency vehicles, supporting the finding that the warhead hit just off the runway. While the Houthis missed the target, Mr. Lewis said they got close enough to show that their missiles can reach it and can evade Saudi defenses. A kilometer is a pretty normal miss rate for a Scud. Even the Houthis may not have realized their success, Mr. Lewis said. Unless they had intelligence sources at the airport, they would have little reason to doubt official reports. The Houthis got very close to creaming that airport. Laura Grego, a missile expert at the Union of Concerned Scientists, expressed alarm that Saudi defense batteries had fired 5 times at the incoming missile. "You shoot 5 times at this missile and they all miss? That's shocking," she said. "That's shocking because this system is supposed to work."
Number 1.
The warhead detonated so close to the domestic terminal that customers jumped out of their seats. The findings show that the Iranian-backed Houthis, once a ragtag group of rebels, have grown powerful enough to strike major targets in Saudi Arabia, possibly shifting the balance of their years-long war. And they underscore long-standing doubts about missile defense technology, a centerpiece of American and allied national defense strategies, particularly against Iran and North Korea. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.